My name is Naisha Walton, and I work alongside Sean Rogers. We are with Team One Love. We are loan officers that are licensed in over 30 states. We are doing our best to reach as many people as we can to teach them about the home buying process, to let them know how to overcome obstacles, to clear up miscommunications. So we've committed to do one call every week with our realtor referral partners and with a variety of consumers, just to explain to everybody how certain things work in the mortgage industry and in the real estate industry. What we're seeing recently is a lot of people are struggling with having their offers accepted. FHA, VA, just in general, anybody that has financing who's not coming in with a cash offer, they're struggling with getting their offers accepted. Brother KT is on our team. He's part of Team One Love. KT is a real estate agent and he's a licensed loan officer. So he's going to give you guys some tools, some tips and some tricks that he's learned and because his offers are getting accepted. And so we wanted to rely on him and his knowledge. Now, if there are any other professionals on this call who have anything to input at the end of the call, feel free to input. We want everybody's input. If you guys are doing something that's unique to get your offers accepted, that's legal and compliant, of course, on this recorded call. Please chime in and let us know what you're doing. We're all here to work together. We all are in different states. We are not competing against each other. We are all here for the same purpose. People that look like you and I are not getting treated fairly in the home loan process. We're not getting treated fairly with buying houses, with appraisals. There's just a lot of discrimination across the board. So we have come together as a tribe to do whatever we can to eliminate any more of these issues. And this is what we're doing. So I want to introduce KT. He's a realtor out of Arizona. He's a brother, not just a Black man, but he's my brother. He's like a brother to me. And you guys just really tune in. Please turn your cameras on. We would love to see your faces. We want to make this as intimate as possible. Sometimes we lose the connection with being on computer. So KT, the floor is yours, buddy.
All right. Can everybody hear me great? All right. Thank you. So I just wanted to give some insight in regards of getting loans accepted, well, offers accepted, that's FHA loans. I know the market is kind of challenging right now, and you can come into some obstacles and everyone is like, oh, well, we got cash buyers, we got great conventional loans and everything of that sort, but our FHA buyers, who are usually our first time home buyers, are struggling getting into homes. But the great thing is, I'm not saying that the market is going down, but it's starting to plateau. So you do see the shift, and it's allowing us to get a lot more FHAs accepted. I was getting FHA loans accepted even during the span of where it was definitely considered difficult. But I realized that a lot of times you just have to take some time out. It's a little work to get in contact with listing agents. They have became, I don't want to say lazy, they just it was a little easy resistance with them. So a lot of times they wasn't even taking calls or looking at emails or anything. But the biggest thing that I started to do was just when I get in contact with the listing agent, I was really asking what was the needs of the seller. Finding out what the seller was looking for, because sometimes money wasn't the issue. I had a lot of people that was doing what we call a lease carryback. Some people needed to close later. It was just so many things that you can actually do to conform to the seller that they wouldn't focus on the loan type. They'll focus more so on the needs that's being met by our buyers. My buyers they understand if you speak with your buyer and let them know that sometimes they're not able to do exactly, or it might not work exactly how they care for. They might have to bend a little bit to conform to what the sellers are looking for. It works. It also helps having a great lender on your team. Working with Team One Love, they're able to actually contact the seller's agent. Contacting the seller agent, ensuring the seller agent that the buyer is strong, making sure close dates can be sent. What we have here in Arizona is called LSUs. So loan status updates, let them know that they can get weekly updates on where the loan is at. Make sure that communication is the key. Really explaining to them how you'll keep them informed with the process. As you let them know all the things that you're bringing to the table, and they can feel confident about the buyer and the loan in itself and the lender, because a lot of people think, oh, I just present this and I'm not going to talk to them about what the lender can bring to the table. Lenders are key elements when it comes to getting FHA loans approved. Have your lender reach out, email them, email the lender, the listing agent all at once. And this is all before the offer is even accepted, just to let them know that, hey, this can be done and this is how we communicate from the beginning all the way through. And these things actually plays a very great part, especially when we're looking at the weekend. So I know a lot of times you have your clients, you go out on a Saturday and a Sunday, and majority of the lenders that you come across, especially mainstream lenders, they don't work on the weekends, so it'll go to their voicemail. Imagine having someone like Naisha give them a call on a Sunday at a 2 p.m. and say, hey, I seen that my buyer had put in an offer. I just wanted to follow up and let you know we already got their docs in order. They're already through processing. We're good to go. We feel confident we can close in a timely fashion. I can communicate with you and let you know you have any other questions and concerns. It works out great for us because a lot of times the buyer just sending over that paperwork is not enough. You need to let them feel confident in regards to the actual offer. And even now we have conventional loans that fall through. People have issues. You have people that have issues with title company, their escrow's not coming together, even when it comes to a cash buyer. So it informed them that there's always going to be some risks and some liabilities. But if we can cover majority of what the risks and liabilities can be with the FHA loan, especially that we're working so closely with the lender and we understand what's going on, their client doesn't have to worry about stressing it. You also have things that you can put in place, inspection periods. Try to make sure that you hold tight with a home inspector, because if you have a good communication with a home inspector, you can say, hey, if I get an offer accepted, are you able to actually take a look at this home within a week? That cutting inspection times also let listing agents and sellers know that you're serious about this buy, that you're really going to do your due diligence and get everything done so we can get all the hiccups out the way. Now, I do not suggest waiving appraisals or waiving inspections, but it is a way that you can always put a clause in. So when it comes to inspection periods, like I said, we can speed up inspections. Instead of it taking a standard 8 to 10 days, let's let them know that we can get an inspection done within 3 to 5 days. If they're looking for appraisals, we might not waive an appraisal, but we'll be willing to pay an additional amount up to. So what I do in a lot of my contracts when it comes to FHA, I create a clause at the end that said we will pay up to $2,000 above appraised value. So what takes place is, if it comes in lower than what the offer, you're not going to have your client in a situation where they have to pay an extreme amount, because as a lender, we're only going to cover what the home is worth. So when we actually explain it to them and what it consists of, we say, hey, we can pay up to $2,000 above. So if that home comes in at $300,000 and you put in an offer for $310,000, well, you'll only pay $302,000. These are just the things that you want to make sure that you keep your clients safe, and in regards to making sure that they're not coming out of too much money or find themselves in a dilemma. That's something that you can do. This also allows the seller agent to feel like, okay, they're doing as much as they can to create leverage, and they know that you're serious about this home and ensuring that this deal is going to go through. Making sure that the deal and the transaction in itself can move as seamless as possible is one of the key elements. A lot of times money is not the key. You have people that's moving out of state. They might say, hey, I need to make sure that I secured my home outside the state. Can we push the closing back? Because a lot of times people are under the impression that if we close quick and get this and the other going, that's the bee's knees. That's not the end all be all. Some people have situations and circumstances that you would need to conform to. And if your buyer can achieve that, then that actually helps, on top of the fact that they feel that the communication is up to par. So these are just a few of the things that I kind of do to get everything going, to at least get my offer in the door. After that, you do have to do your due diligence and let them know how great you are as an actual a realtor, as a buyer agent. Know that the paperwork will be on time, all these things that needs to come in place. And it helps. It always helps. And I even had people that say, okay, you got outbid, but if I get another home that fits your client's criteria, I'll let you know, because I love working with you. I like the communication. I like how it works. So we've actually went back to back and just had FHA offers accepted. 2 to 3 times in 1 month. That's just how it worked. And in this market in AZ, it's crazy. You have so many people coming from California that's buying cash, conventional loans, interest rates are still great, but we're able to come in with the FHA and explain to them that it's not just about it's being a safe loan. It's about a loan that's best for your client. And if that's what I'm bringing to the table, that lets you know that I've done my due diligence with my client as well, to make sure that their financials and their fundings are good to go. So that's pretty much how it works for me. Now, if you guys have any suggestions or any questions in regards to how I go about it, please let me know, and I'll definitely feel free to answer.
This is your time to ask all the uncomfortable questions, guys. We set out this time, an hour today. So ask me uncomfortable questions. If you think they're stupid, you can text me and I'll ask for you.
So,
Okay,
yes,
I have a question.
yes.
So, well, my name's Alyssa. I have an FHA buyer, and she wants to go through wants the condo, right? And I know with FHA, they're a little shaky on insuring into condos. Is there like someone was telling me about a spot approval? What does that do for an FHA buyer? Have you heard of a spot approval?
So in regards to spot approval, those are things that you would have to kind of talk with the lender as well and make sure that it can work. But you can contact the actual the subdivision and the sellers and see if that address can coincide with FHA. Now, Isha, do you have some insight in regards to those spot approvals? Do you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with spot approvals, a lot of lenders are going to be different depending upon how they're going to take the spot approvals. One big thing is some lenders look to see if the spot approvals, if the condo complex itself has already been FHA approved at one point in time in the past. Plus, they look at something called investor concentration, right? They want to make sure that, I think the splits is 51-49, no more than a certain amount of owner occupants as opposed to investors or tenants in the subdivision. But in most cases, also they look out for any pending HOA litigation, which is a big issue, which can kill the whole deal itself. So essentially, you want to talk to the lender about the particular complex. The lender has to do what's called a condo questionnaire. We send that down, make sure the numbers add up, and then we can do a spot approval in most cases, as long as everything is on the up and up with the HOA in question. Did that answer your question?
Yes, 51. You said a ratio of 51 and 49. You said investor concentration. They need to. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, so they want to make sure that, I don't know the exact number because it could vary from lender to lender. They want to make sure that you don't have a certain amount of investors as opposed to homeowners
Okay.
in the division.
So why is that important? Why is it important for more homeowners to be occupying
Projects to, here's my theory, I can't verify this, but I would say project stability. When you have more owners as opposed to renters in a particular area, that does increase perceived value, property upkeep, more involvement in the community as opposed to just tenants that are in and out, right? A higher chance of the payments being made and less tendency for the loans to go into default, along with a rare tendency for HOAs to be paid so the HOA doesn't go into default and don't pay water bills, taxes, whatever. So it's a higher risk when you have a higher tenant concentration as opposed to a higher owner occupied concentration. FHA sees that as a big risk for a future litigation against the condo.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do I change this to rental?
Yeah, I didn't really have a question. It's more of a comment on what KT was mentioning about getting the offers accepted. As representing a buyer, it's like we have to do our due diligence as well, and being the first to contact those sellers, agents, and letting them know what we got going on, then contacting everyone and just going a little bit above and beyond what we have to do to make sure everything is done and on a timely manner. I mean, paperwork getting submitted, sending them back and forth to the listing agent, sellers, and sending everything where that has to be, and like sending talking to title and everyone, things like that.
Definitely. I can piggyback off that. Yeah, talking to title even comes into play, and actually Having a title company, sometimes a lot of, you can even ask with the seller what title company they care to utilize. And you just have to be open to it and making sure that you understand what those fees are and that your client is okay with that. Even though in the industry and how it should go, is the buyer should be able to select their title company. But right now it's what we consider a seller's market to a certain extent, and they have a little privy. So we just allow them to have that privilege to do that. And I mean, honestly speaking, don't let certain things be a make or break on a deal. Let's make sure that if it's feasible and something that's not outside the realm of outrageously crazy, we would be able to have our clients, our buyers, be able to accommodate.
In the comments, somebody brought up Rentbacks. This is one of the things that have been working great for getting my office accept our Rentbacks. Can we talk a little bit more about those?
Yes. Rentback / leasebacks are actually something that works pretty well with FHA because you already know that you're kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to that. But it works out because a lot of times you can offset what you're making on the rent back versus what you come up with your closing costs and down payment. It's almost can be utilized like a seller's concession if you really take a look at it. Now, you're not able to occupy the home right away. And sometimes you'll have to check with the lender if that's okay, but majority of the time, it's not that large an issue. I just would say make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's when it comes to ensuring that you're able to get those renters out. Because a lot of times you have people that they do a rent back and sometimes they'll say, hey, our home isn't ready or we're not able to leave. And now you have your buyer stuck without being in a home for about another month or two, waiting on them to leave. But if it's possible, you work out the numbers, you can say, hey, instead of us coming with X, Y, and Z amount for closing costs, can we have that as a credit? And that will go towards what we'll be paying you for rent. And you can actually suggest what you want that rental amount to be and how long they're going to be there. So make sure that you have that in black and white and that contract covered as well. So they'll be liable to leave when it's time and you guys making sure that it's appropriate.
I see somebody with their hands up, it's an iPhone user. They have a question. Go ahead.
Is it me?
I don't know. It just says iPhone and there's a hand up.
So it's me. This is Camille. Okay, in regards to the rentbacks, I heard the benefit to the buyer, but there is also a benefit to the seller because I live in a military town, and when they get PCS out, a lot of times they don't know exactly when the transportation is going to come pick their things up. And it also gives them a little leeway in regards to whether this loan is going to close or not. So if the loan doesn't close on time, they haven't packed their things, had their things moved out in hopes that this loan is closing. So it gives them a little bit of security too. So it benefits both the sellers and the buyers.
Yes. And that was, and when that kind of goes back to what we had said earlier, a lot of times people don't take the time out to find what's the real reason. So just like you said, they can have some things going on their end for their transactions, the packing, understanding all the stuff that they need to be doing, that gives them time. So you have someone come in like, oh, I got X, Y, and Z amount of dollars, and we want you to, we can close this time and that time. That doesn't really help the seller. The seller's not really happy with that. So that's that's where it comes in. Like I was stating before, taking the time out there. And I know it's hard to get in contact with listing agents at times, but if you can, you ask them, what are your sellers looking for? What are their needs? Because we can accommodate it. A lot of people that has the money and the cash buyers, they're not trying to hear that. They're like, oh, we'll just move on to the next. We need someone that's going to take the time out and say, hey, tell me what you need. Tell me how much time you have, because we can wait. Right. And that's why we have that conversation with our client, with our buyer, and let them know, hey, this might not be exactly how you wanted to go, but we're going to get you in a home and you're going to be okay. And it works, like you said, for the sellers, it's great. They get an opportunity to do what their due diligence as need be, and they can feel comfortable with their transition. And then it works best for both parties. Because honestly, if everybody's not fully happy, then it's a win.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. And then another point that you mentioned earlier, which I'm going to beat into everybody, is make sure that the listing agent has contact with your lender. Make sure your lender and the listing agent have a relationship. Sean and I talk to listing agents all the time. And we just give them the confidence and the reassurance that, look, this person's been pre-approved. We've already taken a look at their income, assets, and credit. They've got great money in the bank. This is a great approval. We will let them know. If you're working with us, that is, I don't know if your lender does this, but it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. One of us will get on the phone and we put that offer in, and we'll go over that. We'll go over the client's profile with listing agents just to make them feel good. And we do it every day, literally. Just use your lender, put your lender to work. What other questions do we have? I know there's more questions. Any other tips, any other practices that anybody else is using that's been working? I mean, we're all in different areas. We're not competing against each other. We all have the same common goal to help people finance, buy, buy houses. So what else are you guys doing that's working for you?
Now, we do have some other insight here. So I know me and Sean have worked on one before that it's always feasible, and people don't think outside the box at times, because you have an FHA buyer, but you also can utilize 203K loans, which is actually very good, because those homes and that type of loan gives you the ability and some flexibility in regards of the amount of the loan, and also having the opportunity to get a home that might not be 100% up to par. And you can do your own restorations and do some things that fits the criteria of what you're looking for.
That boy got for $16.
Who?
My boy.
That's 17?
It is.
Boys can eat.
Go ahead, Casey, I got you.
No, you're fine. So if anything, I don't know if Sean's Sean's available. Sean, you give him some insight on how that 203K can work as well. That can really be beneficial for FHA buyers.
Right. So with the 203K product, as you guys already know, they allow up to $35,000 or more for repairs to the property, right, to make it feasible or lendable. Now, also, what I've been hearing, and I'm not a realtor, so this is out of my lane, is that a lot of listing agents know that or a lot of sellers, I should say, know that their home is in need of some repairs, and it will not pass an FHA inspection. And that could be one of the main reasons they don't want to go or accept an FHA buyer, right? Now, to me personally, that's a red flag, but it is what it is, right? So the realtor can produce or present a decent 203K offer and say, hey, look, I know the house needs repairs. If there's an issue, just like KT said, reaching out to the agent and seeing why they won't go the FHA route. It could be a quick close. It could be amongst other things. And once again, it could be the fact that they think an FHA buyer is going to fall out of escrow and they're not as qualified as a conventional buyer. It could be a multitude of things, right? We don't know. But a lot of times it is due to the fact that there are some small items that the sellers won't be bothered with, but they know it won't pass FHA inspection, like, missing GFI outlets. We have loose floor tiles, a missing handrail, no handrails on the steps, missing floor pieces, holes in the walls, or whatever it may be, missing door. I don't know, right? Things like that, they don't want to be bothered with, but they want top dollar anyway. We can present the 203K offer and say, hey, look, we can make this home pass, still close on time, right? And get the repairs done and not have to worry about it, and still get your top dollar. So yeah, make sure you're utilizing the 203K product. If it comes across your way for any homes that may not be, from what your visual inspection concludes, up to par for repairs, that could really help you guys out a lot and get your offers accepted too. And once again, what I do suggest is that the moment that an offer is sent over, okay, to the listing agent, you need to prep your loan officer. And the moment the intro is sent to the listing agent for the offer, a phone call needs to be made by the lender to the listing agent to prep the seller, as what's going on, right? That I've had really good luck with that. I've had my offers picked over others because, they had some confidence in that the loan would close. So I strongly suggest that when we're sending over pre-approved buyers, the offers, To the agents, a phone call needs to be made shortly by the lender to explain the buyer, the situation, any pitfalls that may happen, et cetera. What we've already done to, verify the borrower, income, assets, credit, et cetera, and take it from there. But yes, 203K loan, make sure you guys are keeping that in your arsenal for your products. Knowing how it works is relatively simple. Also, on some loans, we can do what we call a repair escrow. What that means is it's not a 203K loan. What we're doing is we're holding back some extra cash in escrow to fix small repairs. Okay, small items. Maybe a cost to cure amount of maybe $1,000 to $2,000. Nothing major, but things that they know would hold up an appraisal from being as is.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely seen that be something that is beneficial on a realtor side. When it comes down to it, I've had a couple of sellers that was just in the market to kind of, for lack of better terms, get rid of the home, and they would say, oh, we only accept cash and conventional, because they were concerned about those inspections and what would come up. But it actually benefits the seller as well, because they don't have to worry about inspections. Because when the inspections takes place, we still have a time where the conventional buyer can ask for repairs. A lot of times when it's the 203K, we don't have to technically ask for repairs. We just have to document repairs. And it's nothing that the seller would actually have to do or bring to the table. So it actually helps them out and put them in a better position as well. And once you explain things of that nature to the seller's agent and they have the opportunity to let their sellers know, it works out great. I know we do run into issues where they're concerned about closing times and things of that sort. I know I talked with Sean and Naisha, and they did some great webinars as well, letting you guys know that we can close quickly on FHA. Is it a way that we can close quicker on FHA loans, or just as the same amount of time as it would be as conventional?
Yeah, the main issue is just depending upon how fast we get the appraisal back. That's just my main holdup lately. It's just appraisal turn times. But as far as anybody with a credit score of 640 or better, we can get them closed really quick. It's just a lot is hinges on that appraisal.
So is majority of the things that you hear that are pushbacks, that was previous, and that might have been with your previous lenders, and you might have just kind of heard that, but I'm not saying it's all a myth. But honestly, all the things that you hear about FHA being so difficult or such a hassle and strenuous when it comes to that seller dealing with it or that seller's agent, once you can reassure them that those items are actually null and void for lack of better terms, they feel more confident in the loan. And like Naisha said, lean on your lender. Your lender is the one that's gonna have to do the work. That's what they come in for, and just kind of back up what you're saying. And that's why you want to stay on the same page, communicate with them, and have them communicating with that listing agent, and making sure that your buyer understand what's going on and what we're doing to get them in the best position to purchase. So with that being said, that's a lot of the tips that I have. And again, if you guys working with any FHA buyers, you got any questions, just let us know. Raise your hand, we're here. Make this happen for you guys.
There's a question in the chat that says for earnest deposits, typically 1% to 2%. Do you guys still recommend that? Should my client put down more to make her offer?
So me personally, it all depends. It depends on, after I speak with that listing agent, I will see why they're asking for so much in regards to the earnest. I'll also talk with my buyer and see how comfortable they are with putting up more. The one element that we do not do, and I don't allow my clients to do, is they call it turn hard, right? So what happens is, after so long in regards of the earnest being put up, they have the right to keep it. Let's make sure that we understand, if we do put this earnest, we have all the clauses in place to ensure that our client can get their earnest back. Because you will find sellers will feel like, oh, well, we should keep the earnest. The earnest is just to let you know that we're going to do everything that we can in our powers to actually make sure that this deal go through. But if some hiccups come up, I don't want you to, be able to confiscate my funds and move on from there. So I would say it's possible, but make sure that you cross your T's, dot your I's, understand the reasoning why they're asking for that. Because I know some seller agents ask for more earnest because they've been burnt in the past. And that's where you make sure that you let them know all the things that you're going to ensure gets done, and don't worry about that. And then you kind of negotiate what the earnest is, so it'll be comfortable for your actual buyer, and also let the sellers know that we're engaged in making sure that buying this home is what's key.
You guys have great questions. Anything else you want us to go over?
I gotta pee.
I feel you. So we have a whole month of calls scheduled. Next week, we're going to talk about credit. We're going to look at a credit report. Sean's going to show you exactly how we look at the credit report, what we're looking for, things that will kill a loan, things that will help. We will help coach you guys on how to teach your borrowers how to keep their credit strong. After that, we're going to talk about reverse mortgages. A lot of you guys don't realize that you guys can buy a house with a reverse mortgage. There's a reverse mortgage purchase program that's phenomenal. We're going to have guest speakers from one of our reverse mortgage host lenders that we work with. They're going to be there to answer all your questions. And the last, December 1st, we're going to talk to you guys about home buyer leads. Sean and I are phenomenal at getting leads. This is something that I take a lot of pride in. Our phones don't stop ringing. We have 34 people under contract in 30 days just because of the type of energy we're putting out there. And we're going to teach you guys what we're doing so that you guys can do the same thing. And then on December 8th, we're going to talk about down payment assistance programs again. So for the people that missed the original down payment assistance call, or you want to hop back on that call again and see if there's something you missed, it's like watching a movie, right? You watch it so many times and every time you pick up something new. We're going to go over that. So we have a whole schedule planned out for everybody from for the next month. If you guys have any suggestions for any Zoom calls that you want us to do, if you have any ideas for any subjects or any obstacles you guys need help overcoming, just let me know. Sean, this was Sean's idea to do this call for you guys. I had some people thank me. This was Sean's idea. He's the one that comes up with these ideas, and I just help get the idea out there. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, KT. Thank you for everyone who joined this call. If there are no more questions, we're going to go ahead and end the call. But I'll give you guys a minute to raise your hands before we end. Just let us know. This is your time.
I just want to make a comment. I just want to say the 2 takeaways I got from this was reach out to the lender, have them verify your buyer. I love that. And then the clause about for the appraisal, saying, hey, if it appraises at this, my buyer is willing to put up this above appraisal. I like that. Those are the 2 big takeaways I got.
You know, upon what she was just commenting, I just wanted to say how we also do it is when we send out our offer letter, our offer contract, and type up everything to send to the listing agent, we also include the lender in that email as well. So everybody's going to be on the same page when they get all that information.
Amen. Use your lender. Don't misuse us. Don't keep throwing us
I
off.
won't call you at midnight.
Yeah, don't keep doing that, because at this point, you guys don't misuse us. Use us, but don't misuse us. We're great resources. We want to help you guys, but we also have boundaries. So any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You don't want to reach out to Sean directly. You're going to reach out to me first. I'm the gatekeeper. Until then, talk to you guys next time. And if you need a copy of this recording, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Anything you want to put in, Sean, KT?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys for having me. You guys have a wonderful day.